Hello everyone, welcome back to another Greek Gift Chess video. I'm Alex.
And I'm Phil.
And this is going to be part 3 of our Attacking Chess Openings series. Today we're going to be covering the Evans Gambit.
If you don't want to be a pathetic position pat, you're going to have to learn to play the Evans Gambit and become a Giga Chad Gambiting Gary.
It's because in the Evans Gambit we're going to be giving up pawns left and right and getting amazing attacking positions. We're going to start off with e4. After e5, knight f3, knight c6, I'm sure everybody knows this position. It's just the Italian opening. Now, if black plays knight f6, guys, don't play knight g5 because they might have seen our 2 knights defense video and will know to play d5 takes and knight a5. However, today we're going to be covering the Evans Gambit, which is with bishop c5. So after bishop c5, we're going to be playing b4.
And here, this is the Evans Gambit. This is what defines the Evans Gambit, this b4 pawn sacrifice. And this has been played at the highest levels of chess. It's been played by people like Bobby Fischer, Garry Kasparov, and even Hikaru Nakamura.
Most GMs have played this at some point in their career, and it always brings fresh attacking games. Notice, in most Scholastic tournaments, you're going to be seeing moves like knight c3. So after knight c3, knight f6, we're just getting a symmetrical 4 knights Italian, like we mentioned in our previous video. And this is going to be a really boring game where both sides just mirror each other, and nobody can really get an advantage. Half of Scholastic games that I've seen when I go to tournaments just end up being this position.
And the other half is like a scholar's mate, right?
Exactly. So really boring, low-level stuff. Now, a high-level move is going to be c3, but the problem is it's going to be a tough move to play because after knight f6, we can't seize the full center with d4 for tactical reasons and have to slow play with d3. Now, the Evans Gambit gets around all these problems by immediately attacking the center because by sacrificing a wing pawn with b4, after bishop takes, we get c3 with tempo, and now always get to play the move d4, which is important. So we're going to start off by showing you guys the move bishop c5. In this position, we play d4, takes, and takes. Notice in the original position, after b4, if black takes with a knight, we're going to transpose his position with bishop c5. So
here the best move for black is to check with the bishop, after which we're going to play knight d2, solidifying the center and also blocking the check. Here, black often plays knight f6, after which we're going to push d5. This boots the knight in the center and gains some space.
So, knight e7, queen b3. This move has a subtle threat of d6. So if they play something like bishop a5 and fall asleep for even a single move, we're going to be able to punish them immediately with d6, throwing the knight. After they take, we're going to take on f7 and have a comfortable advantage. So,
and an attack.
Exactly. The attack doesn't finish. We're going to move out the bishop, bring in the knight, and black loses castling rights. Instead, black is forced to give up the bishop pair in this position, because notice we're forking the threat of d6 and the bishop, and so black has to play bishop d2. And now don't forget to take with the knight, because we can't let our center crumble. An important idea of the Evans Gambit is that we're giving up this wing pawn on b4 in order to get this strong center, and black is going to be losing the e5 pawn. After castles, d6, bishop e2. This is a position I want you guys to know. Sorry. The main idea here is going to be to play rook e1 and f4. We've got our big center. We want to break through with e5 and open up this light square bishop. Now, the reason I had these arrows over here were because black also has a tender queen side in some positions. So we have open b and c files to attack it, and it's not out of the question to transfer the attack over there if something goes wrong. So after bishop c5, there's one more idea. Black can play the passive bishop b6, but we're going to be better after knight c3, knight f6, and e5. After knight g4, castles, bishop g5. Black wants to play f6, but cannot because of the powerful light square bishop, and so it's forced to play queen e8, h3. The knight is essentially trapped. And after knight h6, we trade and play knight e4. The computer values this position as +9, and it makes a lot of sense because black's structure is completely ruined. We have the f6 outpost, and the attack is unstoppable.
And mind you, this is being down a pawn, it's still +9.
Yeah, this is on move 14, down a pawn, +9, with simple play from black. It's not as if black we didn't show any terrible moves from black, just natural blunders that come from facing the Evans Gambit. So, second move we're going to show you guys is going to be bishop to a5. This is actually the main move. After this move, we're going to play d4, and black's going to be forced to take on d4. Now, we do not want to take back with a knight. This is a blunder, and it's going to give black a really comfortable game because of our split pawn.
Don't be a split position, Sam.
Exactly.
Split structure, Sam.
Exactly. So after we take on d4, we have a small development advantage, but it's not going to lead to much, and the split structure is going to be pretty painful. And so instead, we gambit the pawn after he takes d4. We don't take back. We gambit the pawn, and we allow black to take on c3, but it's a temporary pawn sacrifice usually, and it allows us to get queen b3 with pressure on f7.
So here, a main move that black can play, and this is actually a mistake, is queen e7.
So after we trade on c3, we're going to get a lot of pressure. Position's already better according to the computer. And just to show how quickly it crumbles, knight f6 and bishop a3.
Look at these diagonals lasering the black position. White is already winning just because of these open diagonals, and it shows how strong the bishops can be in the Evans Gambit with all these nice lines that we can put them on.
Exactly. Because of the open lines that we've created by sacrificing pawns, we're down 2 pawns, but already winning because of d6 and e5. Crucial breakthrough, guys. The d pawn is pinned, and black has not castled yet, which is really typical in the Evans Gambit. So for, let's say, takes, we pin the queen to the king, and obviously it's a comfortable conversion from here. Another move, Phil mentioned queen e7. There's also queen f6.
This is a better move, so some of your stronger opponents might play this.
Exactly. Notice black is defending the c3 pawn, but we're going to get more development with tempo after bishop g5, queen g6, we take on c3, and we're going for knight d5. Now, a careless, normal-looking move here might be knight f6, and black's already lost again. Notice how black just tends to make normal developing moves in the Evans Gambit and immediately gets punished for them, which is why it's such a powerful opening, especially when black is not quite prepared for it. Also, it's a slightly rarer opening, so it's more likely that black hasn't seen what to do against it.
And they'll get caught off guard.
Exactly. After knight f6, knight e5, and force, well, either black concedes defeat and basically goes straight back where he came from, or he'll go to the edge, and now after knight d5 and castles, g4 just traps the knight, and we're finally winning.
So the final move that black can play in this position here is bishop e7.
Here we're going to play d4, and black's best move is going to be to kick our bishop off the super strong diagonal that we mentioned earlier, and force it to play bishop d3. Now, black's best move is actually to give us the pawn back, because after d6, we'll be taking on e5 and getting a split structure. Notice we have the same split structure that I mentioned earlier, which is why bishop e7 is probably the best move against the Evans Gambit, but we retain this knight on e5, which is a key difference, and we're going to be getting rapid development anyways. This position's around equal, but we think it's easier for white to play, and it shouldn't discourage you from playing the Evans Gambit. Because after moves like knight f6, castles, and queen c2, we're going to have pressure on this diagonal, and the computer's starting to prefer white already.
And after c4, we get the same kind of open lines that we saw in the last example.
Exactly. In the 2 knights video, we mentioned similar positions with c4, which help us improve 2 pieces at once, because we'll be able to bring the knight to c3 and the bishop to b2. Now, back to bishop e7. After d4, we said black should play d6 and gambit the pawn back. But another move that they might play is e takes d4, thinking that they're going to continue to hold the pawn. However, after we take back and knight f6, we have knight c3, holding the entire center together. And after castles and e5, white is already winning again. After knight e8, a good plan of attack is going to be play h4, which allows us to put our knight on g5 and pressure this h7 square. Queen c2 maybe isn't the first move you should play, because black will just have h6. But
it's a long-term idea.
It's a long-term idea, exactly.
And notice, guys, how all the pieces just converge so effortlessly on the king side in this opening. See the rook is staring down, the knight is coming in, the bishop and queen have amazing synergy just honing in on this side of the board.
And that's really what we're going to get with the Evans Gambit. Now, this was the final position we want to show you guys, so we're going to be signing off soon. If you like the video, please drop a like or subscribe. It means a lot to us, and it'll show us that we should keep on making this content.
This is Phil
and Alex signing off, and we'll see you guys in the next one.